Don't forget, Coach, I can hurt you real bad if I put my mind to it. Son of a bitch.
Yes.
Is that one, or is it should I do another one?
That's fine. Now, Mike, why don't we tell our audience what these lines are from?
No, not yet. We're gonna do it one more time.
No.
You can ask me that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not editing this.
Hey. Don't forget, Coach, I can hurt you real bad if I put my mind to it.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
All right. See, we should make a contest of who can figure out where this line is from with the movie.
It's a what is it? A mid-'80s slasher.
Oh
classic.
No, it's 1981, is it?
Or early classic then, slasher.
Yes.
I don't know. I forgot because most of the movie sucks. But there's the one bright spot in the film, my favorite. One of my favorite segments from a 80s slasher, the Golden Age.
Yes, the movie is Graduation Day. And the song.
This particular bit of dialogue.
The dialogue, yes.
Leads into
the song.
Leads into one of the golden moments of early 80s slasher fare.
I guess so.
It is Felony performing the Gangster Rock.
Yes.
Which is a classic.
I guess to some people it may be considered a classic. People
it's a classic,
who fixate over this type of thing. For other people, it's they're the light stuff. They're into the prom night. The
Zaza.
The Zaza soundtrack. It's just such a wonderful thing to say Zaza, and his name is so wonderful. Anyway,
Zaza, Zaza Gabor.
Zaza, and that film that had the cheesy disco soundtrack, and then, but I mean, this film is just you're just incurable. You're just ready to be institutionalized.
The first time I watched Graduation Day, I got to that scene, and I was transfixed for that 10 minutes of cinematic gold. And I believe I played it back on that DVD like 5 or 6 times in a row. Like, I grew up in the early 80s. I was like in first grade in 1981, probably when this film came out. And it just encapsulates this period of time. They're at the high school, and they got Felony, the band, in costume and everything, or in full makeup and regalia, and they're performing the Gangster Rock up on stage.
Yes, and with the kids are skating around them, and it's like this roller rink, but it's a high school gymnasium type thing, and it's all these mood lighting. It's just kind of
disco lighting and flashing around, and they got the Jordache jeans with the sequin wind blazers on, and the dudes with the tight pants and the stack shoes, and they just got the whole thing working, man. It was like just 80s fucking slasher cheesiness, like played up to the hilt. And the Gangster Rock, I mean, it's a pretty deep song.
A very atypical track for the band Felony, who did their big hit is The Fanatic, which I think found its way into I think a few films in that era. It was kind of a hit. It was in the recent film Take Me Home Tonight. That Topher Grace film from last year.
Oh, yeah, that was set in the 80s.
Yeah, it had The Fanatic in it and Felony. But
were they like the Jagger and Richards of their era?
I guess so.
Songwriting?
Yeah, the Lennon and McCartney. But the Fanatic isn't anything like Gangster Rock. Gangster Rock is some kind of like bluesy, kind of Doobie Brothers, kind of
riff
thing.
On. Yeah, the tempo is a bit like China Grove.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's kind of.
Fanatic's like all Europop type, stuff, synth pop.
I went looking for the Gangster Rock, and I surprisingly couldn't find it on iTunes or anything. And I wanted to get a download of that song. Yeah,
I don't think it's commercially available, or really available otherwise. Really, I don't think
was
it's
it ever
been.
Like Varese Saraband hadn't put it out or something.
I'm sure it was some kind of LP release at some point. I'm sure.
I need that.
I don't know. May have to scour the ends of the earth for it.
eBay might have that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Felony. The Gangster Rock. Yeah, I like that. There's a lot of horror films that have that sort of iconic music or song in it, like Ballad of Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine, another one of my faves.
Yeah, or like the beginnings of those great '70s revenge films. Often had those great songs, like in Rolling Thunder. The beginning of that with was it Denny Lane? That's not Denny Lane. It was somebody Denny Brooks. His song San Antone. Which I found on LP not that long ago. And then The Exterminator with the guy I Heal It. Ever seen Exterminator? I had to heal it. Yeah, I had to heal it. I couldn't feel it anymore, Mike.
That sounds familiar.
I have heard the cries of my brother who is down.
King of the rhythm and
I
blues.
cannot listen sound.
Gangster Rock. No.
Singing the bees through my wounded eyes.
Wow, that sounds very...
And feel it.
Sounds like I'm missing something.
It's a good song, man. The Exterminator, just out on Blu-ray. With the song in stereo for the first time ever.
Well, hopefully, though, when they release
it's a lie.
Graduation Day on Blu-ray.
Yeah, they'll do it in DTS. I'm sure with the kind of quality, the QC standards of Troma, it'll be a splendid release. I don't know. No, I think they're gonna do some good Blu-rays there. I haven't heard any Blu-rays.
I can't wait to see Felony in full digital.
I don't know. Yeah, the DVD's kind of a little bit drab.
It is
full screen.
I was a bit disappointed when I got that Graduation Day DVD.
Yeah, some of the early DVDs were just not good.
I think it was like the 20th anniversary disc I got that came out at the time, or 25th or something like that.
Yeah.
So
they've been trying to re-release them. They've done the Criterion, I was about to say. They've done the 2-disc set Troma collections. They've released Combat Shock and a few other things like 2-disc sets, and they've been trying to do some collector's things recently.
Never a big Troma fan.
Redneck Zombies.
Although I did see that. That was kind of fun.
Redneck Zombies?
Yeah.
They just released that in a 2-disc set, which is available at Walmart and some places. It got in there.
Is that the one where the dead are reanimated because of some moonshine barrels or something with toxic waste in them?
Yeah, it was this kind of some moonshine and toxic zombies shot on video. It was a weird, atypical film.
That came out like in 88 or 89, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a really Pericles Loons was the director of that. He only made that one movie, and then he made another movie like 20 years later. He made this really weird movie. I forget the name of it. It was just like it's kind of like
God and the Wandering Mind Machine.
It was kind of like one of those big, kind of Mind Screw type films, which he shot in like his house. It was an effort. But he's still working. He's still doing stuff.
Sounds very steampunk.
If it is. But very heavy stuff.
So have you watched anything since we partook of watching Safe House?
Oh yeah, I mean I watched a reviewed Wavelength and before I did the Wavelength show, and that's a great movie. I mean I talked about it in the other show, but it's just I don't think you've ever seen it, but it's just, again, kind of early 80s alien type, stranded alien captured by the government, but very realistically rendered, and a lot of cool stuff. Shot on a real, military base, it all,
Where was it shot?
It was shot in the Hollywood Hills at Lookout Mountain base. I don't know. Mike Gray goes on about it in the actual show.
Did I see Robert Carradine was in there?
Robert Carradine, yeah, because it was actually shot at Robert Carradine's house and just...
That's Skolnick from Revenge of the Nerds, right?
It is, indeed. Robert Carradine, love that guy.
Is Booger in this?
I don't think so, no.
Uh-huh.
Cherie Curry from The Runaways is in it. Cherry Bomb.
I liked Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
That was another 80s classic.
That was an unheralded film. Or I guess it was heralded. In some ways.
And then Porkys.
Porkys, yeah.
That series. Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds and Porkys, I remember when I was...
And we also found that one of the leads in Porkys, that Mike wanted to cast him in Wavelength. Khaki Hunter.
Who was that in Porkys?
She was like one of the dark-haired girls. But anyway, I didn't want to.
Was she the one that played? Are you familiar with Porkys, the characters?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I have the DVD. I bought it on
Because I'm familiar. There was
launch day.
Like the main female. I think her name was Wendy in that, if I'm not mistaken. There's like Pee Wee and Meat and
Kim Cattrall's in it, right?
Yeah, she was in the first one.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
A young, hot, exotic Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, and I remember that scene where they're all with it, like the.
They're in the gymnasium, and they got her. She's howling like a dog or something. The guy's got her. He turns on the PA system, and she's in there like howling, like sexually.
Yeah,
with the guy like a dog, and they all start cracking up laughing. That's pretty funny.
I remember the scene with the head, like the head. The PE coach who's a woman and the guy
Ballbreaker.
Ballbreaker. And like they can't stop laughing. They're talking about this and she's all offended and they're like they just keep breaking out and like tears, like crying, laughing. I remember that scene.
Yeah, it's the older coach and then
yeah.
The younger guy's the one that's banging Kim Cattrall's character. They call her I think they nicknamed her Lassie is the joke.
Lassie.
And they kept making a joke about the guy was talking about, I think Lassie she likes me or something like that, and they're all or no, he said Mrs. whatever her name is likes me, whatever her character's name is, and they're all like, oh, you're talking about Lassie, and the guy keeps saying, well, why do you guys always call her Lassie? And he's like, oh, you'll find out, and so that's her little quirk apparently. I remember Porky's 2 with the guy, the drunk guy that they got made up like a zombie, like a mummy zombie looking thing. Remember where they go to like the house out in the middle of the swamp, and they're supposed to be hooking up with some hooker there. Yeah, and they're there to scare the shit out of them. So they got the big.
That's the original Porky's, though.
That's right? The original, not the. No, I thought that was the Porky's too. When that happens, are you sure?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the original. Remember, they go out there and they scare the hell out of them.
And that's where the black dude comes out with the chainsaw? And
I think so, okay. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm getting the two confused. It's been a while since I saw the Porky's films.
And then there's Porky's the Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is that Porky's 3?
Yeah, Porky's 2 is the one that's got the Klan in it, with that guy that's kind of like a Jerry Falwell, kind of a white trashed up like preacher guy, and he was talking about that they were boycotting or protesting the fact that the high school was going to be putting on a performance of Midsummer's Night Dream with those
Porky's films. I don't know. The Howard Stern remake, I guess, never came to fruition.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that for like years. Is he ever going to get around to doing that?
I don't think so. No, I mean it was set up with Dimension Films, and Miramax, back when then they were actually a saleable company now, but I don't think that Dimension's too busy. Miramax is too busy packaging all the Hellraiser films in like 4-packs for $5 at Kmart. Anyway,
we've covered some stuff.
I don't
know. I'm still recouping from the Pryor's Place.
You're still recovering from it. Oh my god.
I was kind of revisiting some of the clips from Pryor's Place on YouTube, and
I know
reminiscing when Willie Nelson and John Ritter came to Pryor's Place and visited with him.
Well, Mike, they did release Pryor's Place on VHS, Rhino video. They released 5 episodes, I think, not all the episodes, but just like 5 episodes.
Do they have the very special Pryor's Place where he tells the kids about his MS?
I don't think so. He didn't know about the MS at that point.
Kids, I'm fucked.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Or is where Willie Nelson's showing him how to roll a tight blunt?
No, I don't think that. I think that happened.
Plenty of friends.
Yeah.
How does it go?
We got plenty of friends who live in the street. Craziest people you ever meet on Pryor's Place.
Oh, Pryor.
Whoa. Pryor's Place. Ow.
Pryor's Place will return right after these messages.
I love how he does the thing that ow at the end.
Ow, and he pops up.
Just like in the middle of the Gangster Rock. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to maybe Felony was on Pryor's Place?
Yeah.
What is it with Gangster Rock? Like, what is the? I'm trying to think of like the lyrics that he's saying in that. He says something about Elvis, King of the Rhythm and Blues, and he's squealing it when he's singing it. King of the Rhythm and Blues.
It's who can decrypt
the Gangster Rock.
Gangster Rock.
The Gangster Rock.
Really? The Gangster
This
Rock.
really is an esoterica episode.
It very much is. So we were talking about, what the hell was going on with you and listen to that Mick Jagger video with Radon Chong?
Yo, just another night.
Just another night. I think it was a Julian Temple music video
from 1985, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a Julian Temple music video because they played it on Night Flight. Mike, did you ever watch Night Flight back in the day?
Is that like Night Tracks? Because we had a show called Night Tracks that came on, I think, like Friday or Saturday nights.
Night Tracks
back in the 80s.
Was the precursor, really, I think, to Night Flight. Night Tracks was just like a music video show. But Night Flight was a more kind of esoteric, kind of psychotronic mix of music videos, animated clips, movies. They'd show Night of the Living Dead, all kinds of weird crap. Really, they played on the USA Network and they syndicated it in like 1990.
Not so much.
Oh, come on, man. Night Flight. The ultimate in psychotronic. That is Night Flight, man.
Psychotronic.
Yes, psychotronic.
Yes.
We're getting into the...
No, I thought it was an interesting video, though, because with Radon Chong and Mick Jagger looking rather... I don't know. How would you describe that? He was rather like... Well, he was like glam and at the same time really kind of like...
Well, he had the mascara.
Androgynously glammed. I mean, it's really weird.
It was weird as the mascara, and he seems like he's in some kind of third world country populated by different races, and he's in jail, and Radon Chong's there, and somebody's beating up on Radon Chong, and he goes to save her, and then at the end of the video, we didn't watch the end of the video, but they're driving away, remember? It's just it's like this kind of Miami Vice type thing, and then at the end, it's like drama, It's like taking her away. Very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Night Flight, they did a whole thing. They did a whole block of Rolling Stones videos with interviews by Julian Temple. That was great.
That was around the time
JT.
Then Mick did the Dancing in the Streets with the David Bowie.
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of freaky video. That was a little disturbing. That disturbed me as a young child.
Seeing that? Oh, that was poppy. I
raped my senses.
I remember that.
Oh my god,
that was a really weird time.
It was with those guys, with those two androgynous people running around. Very strange sexual undercurrent to that video.
Then you had the "We Are the World," that whole thing.
Yeah,
like within a year or so previously, and
that was great. It was
Duran's videos.
Yeah.
I think Duran was like pretty much the band of the decade? Would that be remembered as the band of the 80s, pretty much encapsulating the 80s?
I guess so. That and Alabama. And,
Alabama? Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. They're the band of the 80s,
Alabama? Where did that come from?
Well, that's what
like an official moniker they have?
That's what they coined themselves, Mike.
Oh,
they were the band of the 1980s.
I like Love in the First Degree, the song that they do. Yeah, I guess they're all right.
So they were the band in the 1980s. Them and Felony.
It was a Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Or Timbuk 3 or whatever.
Timbuk 3, live in the 80s, march into the 80s, living in the Wild Wild West.
No, that was Escape Club.
What was it?
Living in the Wild Wild West was Escape Club. The Timbuk 3 was the future's so bright I gotta wear shades.
Timbuk 3, oh yeah.
Or Haircut 100.
Haircut 100, yes.
Although we both love Split Ends.
Split Ends. Haircut 100, Timbuk 3. These are all bands that were on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 soundtrack. Remember that? From IRS
Really?
Records. Yes.
Oh.
It had a hip soundtrack full of what was it? Also the big band Oingo Boingo. They had that big track on that. You want to talk about pop soundtracks, man? That was it. That was a TCM2. Nobody talks about that soundtrack.
Oingo
that was
Boingo
a great.
Was on that?
Yeah.
What was it, like Dead Man's Party or something?
No, not Dead Man's Party. That was Weird Science.
Dead Man's Party.
I think Dead Man's Party. Well, they did also the theme song, right? Weird Science.
It's alive.
Right. I guess they didn't do. I didn't see. I guess Dead Man Party wasn't in that. It was in some movie. I don't know.
Bits and pieces, pots and pans.
Yeah.
It's my creation. Did you like Weird Science?
Yes, I did. It was good.
One of those movies we never seem to talk about. Or
no one talks about it. Yeah, it's forgotten. John Hughes is kind of fading out. People love The Breakfast Club, and 16 Candles. Ferris Bueller.
Was that Say Anything? Was that John Hughes?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Well, what did John Hughes do with John Cusack?
What do you do with John Cusack?
Yeah, was it like Better Off Dead or any of those, or were those like some other people?
No, that was the Mad Steve Richardson or whatever his name.
Yeah, I knew who you're talking about.
Matt, who also did One Crazy Summer.
I like
Madman Mars. He did that. Directed
Madman Mars.
I don't know, Madman Steve Richardson Mars. You know. And then he went off to do other things, but he was just but he was remembered for those two films. Not Cusack, but Madman.
I liked
Madman. The fuck, I can't even remember this guy's name. I'm losing it.
It's Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
One Crazy Summer. And what's the other one that he's in, like, Up the Creek or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like
Up the Creek. That was that movie with Matheson, which it had the box art with the woman on the raft.
Well, we could talk about like those 80s. We were talking about Porkys earlier. I like Fraternity Vacation with Stephen Jeffries and Tim Robbins and Barbara Crampton. Holy
That's
shit.
what I was gonna about. I was gonna
talk about
that nude scene.
rod.
That nude scene where they wheel them out in front of those guys and
God damn.
And and then they play it off like she's got some kind of venereal disease. I think that's the kind of chink. It's the rim shot.
Crampton?
Yeah.
She was rather succulent in her roles.
Oh my God! Talk about succulent. Yeah.
Reanimator.
She was great.
From Beyond.
From Beyond. Oh my God. I don't remember watching From Beyond all the way through. I must have. I had it.
What about?
I mean, I've seen From Beyond, but I just don't remember. I metabolized it.
You've watched Fraternity Vacation from beginning?
I have it on DVD.
What was the?
I have
there was
bad DVD of it.
There was another one that Johnny Depp was actually in that was much akin to Fraternity Vacation. Do you remember that?
No.
I could swear it was Johnny Depp. That's one of the guys that's in it.
I don't think so.
It's one of those sorts of films that came out about that time. You don't think so?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
But I mean, it's one of those. Oh, Meatballs.
Meatballs
with Bill Murray.
Yes. And then was it Meatballs 2 or Meatballs 3 with Jack Nance as the truck driver? I don't know.
Speaking of John Cusack, I love Grosse Pointe Blank. I know that was like in the 90s, but it was like 97, I think.
Yeah.
I thought that was like one of his, that's one of his last really great sort of comedic performances. He seems to, I think he's in I saw something in a magazine where he's going to be playing. Edgar Allan Poe and something.
Playing E.A. Poe. Yeah, I don't know, but in the Raven, I don't know that. I was looking forward to the Michael Jackson plays Edgar Allan Poe, but I guess that never came about.
Was he working on that?
He was working on that. It was one of the projects. It's going to do with makeup.
Oh boy, was Macaulay Culkin or any of the other kids he used to touch? Were they going to be in the movie too?
God. Allegedly touch. Allegedly, and it was never proven. He was found innocent. So there you go.
Oh, we need a legal disclaimer?
Yeah, we do need a legal disclaimer.
Well,
and also because we're fans of Michael Jackson. The Pulsing Cinemas.
He's a public figure. We can mock him.
Well, again, yes.
Did you see where Justin Bieber's bodyguard?
What?
Justin Bieber's bodyguard kicked the shit out of some guy? Or
I thought you were about to tell me that Justin Bieber was going to do a remake of The Bodyguard. I don't know.
No.
I was like, shit, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, the Whitney's coming back for it.
Well, but Justin Bieber could be like the guy. You know?
They had her picture in the Inquirer, her death picture.
Yes.
Where they got her made up and they got her buried, or not buried. They had her in the coffin with like a purple dress and I think some gold slippers, they said, or something. I'm like, well, how nice. Because we found out Whitney was mixing some prescription drugs with alcohol.
Allegedly.
Well, no, that's what they released.
Oh, okay. Well, allegedly they released that. I don't know, Mike.
Well, no, I mean, it's all over that.
I don't know.
Well, I do know.
No, I don't know, Mike. We got to talk to Jesus first, and he's going to tell us.
No.
Okay?
I had a word of knowledge.
Whitney Houston.
Hey,
how many letters?
Jonathan Kleck fucking told me on his YouTube page when he was folding the dollar bills and showing me how the dollar bills show the various tragedies that have occurred due to terrorist activity in our country. Because it's a conspiracy from the Illuminati.
I know.
Top down. Jonathan Kleck knows what he's talking about. He knows that the aliens have inhibited our brains.
Makes me cry. I get emotional, Mike.
The abomination that make it desolate. Oh, now you're
God.
imitating Alex Jones.
I don't
Wasn't
know.
Alex Jones in a movie? What was that? Like
Yeah,
A
he
Scanner
was.
Darkly or something?
I don't know.
He was because he was talking. Saw something with him where he was talking about being in a film with like Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder and what's going on with these conspiracy alarmists that peddle fear mongering and like Alex Jones.
Well, it's getting 2012, they're getting a nice little keystone with the end of the Mayan calendar this year, and all this crap, So they're coming out. They've always been out.
Just remember, turn it upside down.
Turn it upside. This guy that Mike found on YouTube, which
I've got a particular penchant for finding truly just fucked people.
Oh my God!
I mean, shit crazy.
I can't even comprehend this.
It's
man.
the Jonathan Kleck.
Oh my God! Now you're going to give this guy.
I'm going to give him props.
No,
we've had some entertainment.
They can find it on YouTube.
Kleck.
Oh God!
Kleck.
Now we're giving this guy exposure on the Pulsing Cinema.
He's trying to warn of an imminent and dire threat to our nation from alien attack due to the New World Order.
Yes, the abomination that causes desecration?
Desolation.
The
abomination of desolation.
I don't know. But, he's just one of many people on YouTube who are going on and on and on about the apocalypse and what have you. So, and speaking of that, I was watching this Kenji Fukuzaku film, Virus. Big epic biowarfare type film in the tradition of, like The Crazies and Outbreak. But this is the biggest one. This is like one of the biggest films. At that point, it was one of the biggest budgeted Japanese films ever made.
More so than Godzilla?
Gigantic film. It has an all-star cast. Glenn Ford plays the president. Henry Silva's in it. Robert Vaughn. Chuck Connors.
Henry Silva's cool.
Olivia Hussey. Yeah, and Henry Silva plays this just right-wing general who's like shouting his lines. Everything he goes, "We must activate the ARS." And he's like Rod Steiger in Mars Attacks. How he was so like crazy. That's how Henry Silva is in this film. Henry Silva's crazy. I just saw Henry Silva today in Cinderfella, that Jerry Lewis film, and he looks normal in that. It's very weird.
I saw that when I was a kid.
Cinderfella?
God, I haven't thought of that in a long time. That movie.
I just saw a clip from it because I was looking at some Jerry Lewis stuff today.
Why?
Because I just went to this guy's webpage and he had all this stuff about Jerry Lewis, and then Jerry Lewis wrote a book on filmmaking because in the 60s he taught a class on filmmaking at college, and he wrote this entire book about all the production of filmmaking. Jerry Lewis Guide to Filmmaking. Oh no, it's called Jerry Lewis: The Total Filmmaker, which is on eBay for like $79, $80, but you can buy it from Jerry Lewis's website for I think $30, signed $200.
I can't imagine.
The Total Filmmaker. I would read it, Mike.
I can't imagine I'd give a shit.
Jerry Lewis was one of the innovators in video playback. In the '60s, it's very weird. I mean,
I just don't.
Video playback where you have a video monitor that's basically connected to the camera so you can look at your take, right after you shoot it. And Jerry Lewis was the innovator of that, really. Even before Stanley Kubrick started doing it on 2001, it was right there in the '60s, or as doing that in an actual film production, and
I think movie guy Star Raisin did that before.
I don't know.
Stanley Kubrick,
yes.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut, yes.
One of my
You've been wanting to do a show on that.
Yes.
We'll eventually do a show on that. We have to be in the right mood to do a Kubrick show. We have to do it right because it's the Pulsing Cinema. We have to do it in the right.
We have to be serious, unlike esoteric.
Well,
we're all over the board.
This episode is just the most esoteric I think we've ever done.
I've been watching Leverage, the show with Timothy Hutton. That's really good. I've enjoyed it. I like caper heist sort of films and shows, and right up my alley. I like them. They're wonderful.
They're wonderful. And then you're telling me Leverage has a lot of in-jokes. It has a lot of little
there's a lot of genre in jokes with like sci-fi. One of the characters is the computer guy, the hacker sort of fellow, and he is a bit of a genre sort of geek. And I'm about halfway through the first season of Leverage on DVD, and he's already made some references to Doctor Who, which are quite funny. They're pretty glaringly obvious if you're watching the show that it's Doctor Who that they're referring to. They name drop Sylvester McCoy, Peter Davison, Tom Baker, and Sarah Jane as cover identities for their passports to get on an airplane in one of the episodes, and there's just some references that pop up here and there. I've been noticing a lot of Doctor Who references, actually, in the last couple of years with shows specifically, and I remember before the new Doctor Who series came out that it was rare, if not like impossible, to ever hear any sort of reference to Doctor Who, other than maybe something that was some other BBC production. Like, you never heard about it here in the States. But now it's popped up in several different shows. I think there was a CSI, one of those, where they were at a convention and something happened and they were referencing Doctor Who somehow. And I think on Grey's Anatomy, I saw an episode with my girlfriend where we were watching it, and I think that they had these two dorks at this convention and they were fighting over a TARDIS toy that they had or something. And just Doctor Who's been popping up everywhere now.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Like Peter Davison says. Oh my. Or George Takei. Oh my.
Yes.
So, well, let's wrap this fucking thing up.
We want to wrap it up.
Yeah, this esoterica, we've
kind
of covered the board. No, it's good.
It was good? Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard to top the Prior's Place. Coming off of that, I feel a lot of pressure.
Well,
I mean, we covered, that crack whore Whitney's death and Ricky Martin.
Come on.
All of that shit.
Oh, come on. About Ricky Martin.
But don't forget, this is it. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. You tune in, you will find out what that means.
Oh, my God.
Well, Coach Michaels. Looks like you had yourself a pretty good deal, didn't you? Surrounded by all that fine young stuff. You got lipstick on you. Too bad you blew it. Don't treat me like shit, Coach. Remember, I could hurt you bad if I put my mind to it. Son of a bitch.
What's this? If you go off and I find you with Sue?
We're just friends.